Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review. This month I do another installment of the Volkswagen T1 Samba bus. I am on stages 63 through 67. Now, if you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this bus today. I put a link and a promo code down below. This has been a fantastic build. It's very easy to build. I highly recommend it as your first part work kit because it is so simple to build and so enjoyable. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back. This is pack 14, stages 63 through 67. Now with this build, you get these nice magazines with great articles that are found inside. They range from 12 to 13 pages, front and back. Beautiful color and black and white photographs within this. A lot of research was done on the articles. Articles are fantastic here. As you can see here, here's a preview of this magazine for stage 63. Then it also gives us step-by-step instructions on what we'll be building in this, and a layout of the model and the dimensions in itself. And so let's look at all the parts that came with pack 14. Received the middle chassis with 63. 64, we received a front left wheel arch. 65, the front right wheel arch. 66, the front part of the chassis. And finally 67, the subframe for the front part of the chassis. Let's get started on stage 63. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 63. Stage 63 received the chassis middle part, and you can see it right there, and there's the assembly diagram. So we don't actually do anything in this stage. Let me go ahead and get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the stage 63 parts. I'll take this out, we'll get a closer look. Here's BDO 4 screws and a close-up of the part. Of course it is made of metal, has a flat finish to it. And that's all we do with this stage. We're going to start assembling this in the next upcoming stages. So let's go ahead and start on stage 64. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 64. So for stage 64, we received the left front wheel arch. That's what the part looks like, and that's what the assembly diagram looks like. So we'll gather our part from stage 63, and we'll take the wheel arch and install it on that chassis part. Put in a couple screws for that. Then we'll mount that part of the chassis, the middle chassis, to the aft part of the chassis. And it looks like we put about 5 screws into that. And that's what it should look like when we're done. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the parts for stage 64. Looks like the wheel arch. I'll take it out, we'll get a closer look. BDO 4 screw, and here's the wheel arch. It is made of plastic. That's what that looks like there. Let's get started. Alright, here's the middle chassis floor from stage 63. And I'm going to go ahead and bring over the wheel arch that we just received in this stage, and we need to match it up. There's an alignment pin and a screw hole that this goes into. Simply slots down just like that on top. A BDO 4 screw goes into that. And there it is, nice and tight. And that's how that looks there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mount this to the aft part of the chassis. Here's the aft part of the chassis, and we have 5 areas that will get screws. And the middle chassis is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already lubricated those with my Vaseline, so we're simply just going to mount that right up there, right on top. And once again, a BDO 4 screw goes into this. And the last one. Perfect. And that's what that looks like. That completes stage 64. Let's head over and do stage 65. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 65. And this time we install the right front wheel arch. There's the parts. And there's the assembly diagram. Same as we did in 64. We'll install that wheel arch. That's what it will look like. And once again, we put one screw in. And that's what it will look like when we're done. Let me get the parts, and I will be right back. Here's parts for stage 65. I'll take it out, we'll get a closer look. Once again, BDO 4 screws and the wheel arch plastic. Let's get started. And here's the middle chassis. We'll put the wheel arch on just like we did before. Line it up. BDO 4 screw goes into this. And I did lubricate the hole. Good to go. And there you have it. That completes stage 65. Let's head over and do stage 66. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 66. Stage 66, we received the upper front subchassis. There's all the parts and the assembly diagram. We'll carefully inspect the part, make sure all the holes are clear, line them up where they need to go. Start putting our screws in. That's how that looks there. And that's how that should look. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the parts for stage 66. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. BDO 4 screws and BP 10 screws. Here's our front subchassis made of metal. Looks very nice. Let's get started. Alright, here's our front subchassis, and it's simply going to go down in that direction, and we're going to line it up with the 3 screw holes that are right there up front. 3 BDO 4 screws go into this, and the last one. And next we put in 4 BP 10 screws up front right here. These are a very large flange type screw, and they're going into plastic. No need to lubricate the holes. And the last one, and since these are going into plastic, you don't need to over tighten them, just until they are snug. Good. That looks great. And that's all we do with this stage. So let's head over and do the final stage for pack 14, and that's stage 67. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 67. So for stage 67, we're going to assemble the lower front subchassis, and that's the parts we received. This is the final stage for pack 14. And you can see what that looks like there. We'll mount that on the subframe. And it looks like we put 6 screws into that, BDO 4 screws. And that's what that will look like. Let me go ahead and get the parts and I will be right back. And here's the parts for stage 67. I'll take this out, we'll get a closer look. Once again, BDO 4 screws, and here's our subframe made of metal. Let's get started. And here's our chassis. Make sure we're turned over on the bottom side here. We'll take that subframe that we just received, and it's simply just going to go right down on top of that. I already lubricated the 6 holes that screws will be going into. Go ahead and turn this over. And get one started right here. And these are BDO4 screws. The 2 in the back here are installed. We'll do the front ones next. And these 2 are installed. Got 2 more to do. And that is it. It is installed. And that's what that looks like there. That completes stage 67. And there you have it. That completes pack 14. So we have the chassis built up here. Looks great. Fantastic. So if you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this bus today. It's fantastic and a beast. Look how big it is compared to my hand. It's going to be a fantastic looking bus displayed out in my living room. Anyway, if you like this content, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.